Hello and good day to all friends. This is Mojtaba Rasti from the Thales team, and today is February 20th, 2026. I'm here with you to take a midterm look at the status of Bitcoin. Let's review the trades and options activity from the beginning of last week until now for the next 1 to 2 months expiration dates and see what conclusions we can draw. Let's head over to the market screener and we're in the process database. I'll reset the filters to 0, starting from the 13th as well. Let's check the expiration at the end of February, up to this moment. We'll also set the processed open interest to positive, and for February 27th, which is actually 1 week from now, 26,450 Bitcoin is the result of this curve. Take a look. There's a bullish bias. We have a gamma around 75 to 76, and there's a crossover between delta and gamma at about 79. The end of the delta can go up to around 80, which means we can expect an upward move until the end of February, possibly even up to 80. It's the same triangle pattern we talked about, a triangle that's forming here in this way, and ascending triangle of sorts, which could break out to the upside. If we look at the end of March, the story is different. At the end of March, you can see it's bearish, and even if we move the slides forward, not much changes. Now, towards the end, it gets a bit volatile, which we'll talk about, but overall, it's bearish. There's a gamma at 53, which is from buying puts, and a short gamma at 76. Again, you can see that 76 is at the top, and this top could even continue up to around 80. So where are we right now? Right now, we're here. The move upward comes with a decrease in delta, meaning there's call selling up to 76 or 77. On the downside, we're reaching a bottom, and that bottom starts at 64, 63, 64, 62. These are the zones. If this bottom breaks, then those puts that were bought will start to become profitable. That means this 62.3 level is an important spot. If it breaks, it can actually activate those put purchases and bring them into profit, with targets at 52 to 53, or even down to 50,000. So the outlook for the end of March is still bearish. We could see lower levels. Of course, before that, as we said, it looks like we could see a move up towards 75 to 80. We might see that if we continue into April. April 24th, look, both sides. Movement is seen in both directions, up and down. Our gamma is at 62. From the downside, look, below 53 is in profit. From the upside, above 81 is in profit. The possibility of movement in both directions is still visible for April. And if we move the slider forward a bit, you'll see that as we go further, the outlook for April also turns bearish, with gamma at 54. Buyers' gamma and puts are at 54. As you can see, delta is also bearish as the price drops, and everything favors a move downward. Even for March, it gets even more intense here. Look, gamma gets stronger, still at 54, and the possibility of a downward move remains, and it seems even stronger. So we might still see a lower bottom. It still looks like the price is seeking a lower bottom. Now, if we look ahead, there's really nothing suggesting a crazy rally in the next 2 or 3 months, unlike previous weeks and months when, if you remember, we saw strong bullish outlooks, 172,000, things like that. That's not visible now. The global situation isn't favorable either. In fact, the talk of war and conflict naturally isn't good for markets like crypto. Now, the broader financial policies being pursued globally are a separate issue. Injecting liquidity into the market, printing money, increasing global liquidity, these might show their effects in the long run. But the fear in the market right now is probably more due to the political situation in the world, and especially the risks related to war. This is impacting markets like crypto and stocks, these kinds of markets. So it seems we can say right from the start that there's a likelihood of a move down towards 75 to 80,000 by late February or mid-March, and then possibly another move. Look here, this bottom is at least 60,000, and even 53 or 54,000 or even lower. If we take a look here, we've come to the daily chart, and here we also have a triangle forming. Of course, the triangle forming here on the daily is starting to look like a symmetrical triangle. The continuation of this trend is a weekly downtrend. The weekly chart, though, gives us a bit of a reversal signal. Pay attention. After this strong momentum, the gaps that have formed here, the RSI has reached an overbought level and has moved away from the moving average, suggests the possibility of at least a temporary reversal upward, maybe up to that same 80,000. You can see, it's predictable, and this scenario actually makes sense. Alright, let's go to the 4-hour chart and take a look. Let's review the derivatives trades at the end of February. Alright, let's look at 50 Bitcoin. We can still increase it. 100 Bitcoin, 50 trades, 100 Bitcoin, we have 150 Bitcoin, 23 trades. As you can see, the trades are clearly in favor of an upward move for the end of February. 75, 75 here, and the delta could go up to 78. And the next thing is to take a closer look. See here? Aha! We have a number of trades with 1,000 Bitcoin each, and these are really big. From here, even the block numbers are different. These aren't strategies. Look here. We have 1,000, 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 Bitcoin. 7,000 Bitcoin. On February 16th, actually on February 16th itself, we had an inflow of 7,000 Bitcoin, long call at 75. 4 days ago, a long call at 75 was placed for the end of February, which is clearly a bullish outlook. On February 15th, there was another one, 1,000 Bitcoin, a call option at 80,000. Look, a call at 80,000 is bullish again, definitely bullish. These are some really large trades we're seeing. Then on February 19th, just yesterday, so this is very recent, there was a 1,000 Bitcoin long put at 58. This is the bearish position that has come in. A bearish position is entered. After that, the trades that came in today, February 20th, for the end of February, the biggest trades we have are 3 at 200 Bitcoin each, long calls at 72 and 85, 2 of them at 85, 1 at 70. So overall, you can see the bullish sentiment is stronger, the bullish outlook is stronger, even targeting 80,000, even aiming for 85,000. In our opinion, a reversal, there's a real possibility that we might actually witness it firsthand. If we want to carefully examine and analyze the various strategic approaches for the end of February, there's nothing notable here. All the block numbers match up, and these are just minimal trades. Nothing significant above 150 Bitcoin is showing up. Let's move on. Let's go to the next part. March, the end of March. Let's see what the trades are saying here. 50 Bitcoin. Let's raise it up again. 100 Bitcoin. 38 trades at 100 Bitcoin. You can see the outlook is still bearish. Our gamma is at 54, and here there's also a gamma short at 78, which we can spot at the top, and then we can move downward. Look at the actual trades here. Again, we have some notable trades on February 17th. 2 trades, which is a strategy, 2 trades of 1,500 Bitcoin each. Let me show you this here. Yes, you can see it's a bearish risk reversal. If I remember the strategies correctly, it's a risk reversal at 58 on the upside with a ceiling at 81. They don't want anything above that because it would go into loss. On the downside, 58, 57, 58,000 is basically the target. So you can see that for March, that move below 60 has been anticipated. Now, let's look at the actual trades again. Here we have... Aha! Look here, there are also 500 Bitcoin in 3 separate strategies. This is interesting too. When was this? Again, February 17th. All of these are risk reversals. This one is also a risk reversal. 3,000 Bitcoin risk reversal, along with this 3,000 here, which was also on February 17th. That makes 6,000 Bitcoin in risk reversals, all betting or targeting the end of March at 55 to 56. So in a way, they're aiming for that range. Okay, the newest ones we have are for March to February 19th, meaning they came in yesterday. February 19th again, these are strategies. Look, for example, this one is a 200 Bitcoin strategy. This is also a strategy. You need to analyze this last strategy separately. Look, this one is a short straddle. The peak profit, we've already passed 65, 66, and now we're heading toward the profit ceiling at 75. Look, this move will probably keep going towards 75. The floor is 58. The floor set for March is 58. Here again, we have another strategy. Look, there's another risky reversal at 55, just like the one below. It's a bearish risky reversal. This is also a strategy. Again, a short straddle at 58, and the floor is set. The trend here is that we're moving toward the upper ceiling at 75. And here, there are two 300 Bitcoin positions, which again are the same. A short straddle with a ceiling at 74 and a floor at 56. So this outlook for March also shows a bearish perspective, meaning it mostly points to a ceiling around 75 to 80 and then a pullback down to about 54 or 55 as possible. That's basically the view for March. Now, if we move on to April, take a look at April as well. Again, for April, let me just adjust the size. April, 5 Bitcoin. You can see that the possibility of movement in both directions has been considered. But as we get closer to the end, the outlook here also turns bearish. The recent trades for April have taken on a bearish view too. They've also targeted 54.55. Let's go here and look at the bigger trades as well. 50 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, 33 trades of 100 Bitcoin or more. You can see it's still in favor of a drop, and the targets are set at 55 and 56. There aren't a lot of big numbers here. What stands out visually is that there's still a strategy here. Take a look. The most recent trade that came in was today, February 20th, 110 Bitcoin short call, 85 short call, both for the end of April. Yesterday, a series of strategies were entered. You can see that since February 19th, there's just a single trade, not more. Let's go back. February 19th starts here. You can see these aren't strategies, they're not. It starts from here with the same block numbers. Okay, actually, let's see. 250 Bitcoin in total. Look, there are two longs. One short call at 110,000, one long call at 95,000. These we should have zoomed in, zoomed out, a very interesting bull spread up to 110,000. A bull spread has been closed for a total of 500 Bitcoin up to 110,000 for the month of April. So you see, for April, the overall curve was giving us a bearish outlook, still around 55, 56,000. But you can see that the individual strategy trades that have been closed here are showing a spread up to 110,000, a bull spread. Again, here, you see this strategy continues, this bull spread. There's another strategy, also totaling 500 Bitcoin, another bull spread up to 110,000 or 111,000 for the end of April. So our total bull spreads add up to 1,000 Bitcoin. And we have this one too. This is probably a spread as well. So yeah, this is a bull spread for 110,000. So actually, it's 1,500 Bitcoin, 1,500 Bitcoin, up to 110,000, up to 110,000. That's this outlook. What else do we have? If we want to analyze the strategies, look, here we have this. There are two Bitcoin sets. It seems that yes, there's a bearish spread here. It stayed as earlier, meaning those bullish spreads were from recent trades, like from the past 2 days. But this trade is from February 16th, so it's older, and at that time the outlook was still bearish. This one is up to $45,000, a bearish spread of 200 Bitcoins up to $45,000, which suggests a possible move downward. But as we can see, the more recent trades have become more bullish in their outlook. Their perspective has become more bullish. Yes, what else can we see from the beginning? Look, here again we have a short strangle strategy. 60,000 is the floor, 85,000 is the ceiling for the end of April. And actually, this one has a third leg as well. Yes, this one has a third leg too, which, well, is pretty much the same. Another strategy. We don't have any more strategies, so I'm not sure if we've reviewed these or not. Let me check. Look at this bullish spread. Even though this one is actually from February 13th, the bullish spread closed for 108,000, and this one is for the end of April. And here's another one. This was added too. 400 Bitcoin, February 13th, 400 Bitcoin for the end of April at 110,000. So you see high volume strategies for the end of April are anticipating a possible move up to 110,000. You can see here how it shows itself. It's moved from a loss toward profit, standing at 110,000. And of course, that 110,000 for April could also be a ceiling. You see here, after that, it goes back into loss, so it might be a ceiling. But in any case, there's an interesting bullish outlook in these strategies. So it seems that until the end of February or early March, we could see a move up to 80,000 or even 85,000. But after that, considering April and the end of March, which we reviewed, we'll probably see another move downward. Although for the end of April, we've seen strategies that even consider 110,000. Thanks for your attention. In the coming weeks, we'll try to do more analysis, continue to monitor trades and new entries, watch for new changes, and hopefully that will give us a better outlook for the coming months. I hope this was helpful. Until the next analysis, goodbye.